Yeah, good morning and welcome to the Tulip Airway channel. This video 25, number 5 in a series of 6 that looks into how doctors think. On this one, I'm siding with the doctors. So despite trying to introduce, brand new medical technology with a lot of clinical data attached to it, a lot of third-party opinion, a lot of, very unusual and successful things happening with Tulip, I'm going to side with the doctors on this one, right? We're going to discuss why doctors resist change, and more to the point, why they're actually right to do that. So, what we're about to discuss is based on the book Life and Death Decisions, How Clinicians Really Choose New Medical Technology. And I wrote this book because trying to introduce, the first thing that happens to someone in a time of acute trouble, e.g. the airway, the breathing of ABC and basic resuscitation and advanced life support and all that, I had to learn more than just medicine. I had to learn more than just business. I had to learn psychology of what I was asking people to do. So, people, you know, know that doctors resist change and they're very conservative, but there's a good reason for it. It's the responsibility, right? And it's the responsibility for other people. So this is really about making life-saving decisions, critical decisions for other people. It's not just yourself, Every decision that, a doctor makes affects the patient's safety, the outcome, how long you live. So when asked to adopt something new, doctors, are like, hang on a second, this is quite serious. And there's a lot of uncertainty about that. So even if like the data is great and, the benefits seem blatantly obvious like they are with the Tulip, it's that fear of failure. So for a doctor, caution is seen as a professional virtue. In England, it's also like being stupid with money. That's another professional virtue, for a doctor. I mean, my MBA tried to sort me out with that. But honestly, the naivety. But the caution is, I think, warranted. But this isn't a weakness. It's actually probably what keeps you alive. It's a professional responsibility. We don't want excess risk. And so basically evaluating anything new takes more than just, yeah, it's okay. So there's evidence which you get and, you expect and clinical data and all of this, but it's the experience, the hands-on, okay? And that's where the confidence comes from, the use, the multiple use, the repetition. And only after practice will something actually get accepted. But this is something that needs to be understood. Medical technology takes longer than, a new Big Mac. It just does. And so this is through observation and trust. And you're basically breaking down walls and barriers of defense and conservatism at every single stage that, through that social network. But there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to give them time. You've got to step back, because basically if you get pushy, if you push too much and it's, okay, this is so great and you're rubbish for not using it, that actually makes it harder, because they then actually become even more defensive and their autonomy is threatened. So they're like, no, you can't decide for me. And I think that's appropriate. So that reactance of like, don't you dare try and force me is a real resistance. And I think it's appropriate. So for doctors, what's critical is you allow them to decide. They sell to themselves, they persuade themselves, they imagine the solutions for themselves, and you need to step back and give them time and space, because that autonomy increases adoption. But that's what life and death decisions is about. I mean, this was not something somebody told me. It was like the more you pushed, the less successful you were. And basically the most successful thing was to allow people to use a tulip in a mannequin and just shut up, because there's usually too much persuasion. So using the tulip and a mannequin enabled them to visualize, feel, encounter. And when they decided that, yeah, okay, that's all right, that decision, yeah, okay, we'll try it, was much more durable. So the pathway for Tulip is, quite frankly, we don't pressure you. We give you like the top 10 facts, all of which are great. And then we give you a Tulip to try, right? So forget the conversation. Feel free to try it. We'll give you some free tulips. Just keep using it. Tell us what you think. And I think, what that breaks down to is respect for personal liability on behalf of that doctor, because, that's the responsibility that clinicians carry. If you get something wrong, you're in years in court. People, died, people hate you because it was their mum, it's a disaster. So basically, this is something that no doctor likes. So, Tulip was successful because we worked with the psychology. All right. We don't pressure you. We don't do anything. You ask us some questions. The usual one is regurgitation. We give you the best answer possible in as much as, yeah, the pressures are lower and the tidal volumes are higher. And then we go, here you go. And then you use it. And that's the idea that's central to life and death decisions. So as you can see, Life and Death Decisions is available on Amazon. But if this kind of video, this kind of, okay, listen, how do I talk to a doctor? How do I direct my sales to a doctor? How do I get people to change important things? I recommend you like and subscribe, because the next video is the last of the series of 6 and deals with how medical devices like the Tulip Airway actually do spread through hospitals. I'll speak to you then.